What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be sharing with you our household net worth. My husband and I have been working on paying off our debt for over a year now. We started out with $369,000 of debt. There was a car loan, credit card debt, and student loans, and now we've paid off the car, we've paid off the credit cards, and we've paid off a chunk of the student loans, and hopefully we will be able to increase our net worth every single month going forward for the rest of our lives. But right now our net worth is in really bad shape. It's not pretty. I haven't wanted to look at it. I haven't wanted to talk about it. And because of how bad it was, I honestly didn't even start tracking it until August of 2020. Now, as you already can see from the title of this video, our net worth is negative $161,053. This is what happens when you take on a bunch of debt and you don't have a bunch of assets. You end up with a negative net worth. Now, negative net worth doesn't mean that we're bankrupt or we're going bankrupt or we're gonna be bankrupt. It has nothing to do with cash flow or our ability to pay it back or anything like that, but it's still a super scary thing to be underwater in your net worth. Like I said, I didn't even start tracking it till recently, but we're tracking it now. And if you've watched my 2021 goals video, then you already know that one of our goals for this year in 2021 is to have a positive net worth. That means we are going to need to increase our net worth by more than $161,000. So I'm excited to take you guys along for the journey to track our net worth month over month for 2021 to see if we can get to that positive number that we've wanted to be at for so long. If you've been watching me for a while, then you know that I love my spreadsheets. So without further ado, let's jump into the spreadsheet. Okay, so this is our net worth spreadsheet. This is the spreadsheet that I put together to track our net worth. As you can see here, the green box is everything that we own, all of our assets, and the red box over here is everything that we owe. And when you take the total of the green box and you subtract it from the total of the red box, that is how you get our net worth. So this net worth update is going to be how our net worth changed in the month of December. And so I'm gonna go line by line and tell you guys about each of our assets and each of our liabilities. Okay, so first of all, our house. That is our biggest asset. I did do a video on our house a while ago and I valued our house a lot higher than this because I was using the Zillow value, but the house next to ours recently sold and it sold for a lot less than the Zillow value. And actually Zillow has a range that shows how they get their valuation, and the house next to us sold for the low end of that range. So that's the value I'm gonna be using going forward because I feel like that's more accurate. But anyway, our house started out valued at $400,000 at the beginning of December and now is worth $402,000, so it went up by $2,000. Next we have our savings. EF and SF stands for emergency fund and sinking funds. Emergency fund is obviously just cash that we have set aside in case of emergency, and sinking funds are just funds where you're putting money aside for things you know you're gonna need to spend money on, but isn't necessarily a monthly bill that comes out every month. A lot of people use cash envelopes for that. So sinking funds and the cash envelopes is kind of the same idea. We started out with $19,312 in our savings, and then that went down to $18,396. So it went down by $916, and that was mostly because of Christmas. We had a sinking fund for Christmas and we used that. That was a planned use of money. So that's why that went down last month. Next we have my husband's retirement. He has a couple of different retirement accounts, but we, for the spreadsheet, just put them all into one line item. And so his retirement account started out with $24,546 and it went up to $25,604. So that increased by $1,058. Most of that was from market gains and his company match. He only contributed $250 to his retirement account in December, but that is going to be changing for 2021, as you guys will see in the next net worth update. Okay, my retirement account was at $13,555 and went up to $14,020. That's an increase of $465, and that was all from market gains. I did not contribute anything to retirement in December. Next is my brokerage account. I just opened this account because I heard that Fidelity had a zero fee, zero minimum index fund, and I wanted to start investing because I was just feeling like we weren't investing enough last year. So I took money from my personal spending money that was allocated in our budget every month, and I just slowly put it into this brokerage account, and it eventually grew up to what it is now. So we started out with $400 there at the beginning of the month, and it went up to $413. That $13 was because of the market gains, not because of any contributions to the account. Next we have my daughter's 529 account, and that is a college savings fund we started for her when she was born. She's 1.5 now, and so really we've mostly funded that with generous gifts from friends and family. Every time we've received cash for her since she was born, we put it into this account, and it has grown significantly over time. But we have had some, generous friends and family who have given us money that got this account started. So it started out at $3,106 and ended the month with $3,703. Most of that increase is because of money we got for Christmas for her, but some of it is market gains. Okay, and then stock options. We do have some stock options in a company. I just put 0 here because right now we can't do anything with them, so they're effectively worth nothing, even though they're probably worth something at this point. They may be worth nothing, they may be worth a lot of money, and so I'm hoping one day we'll be able to put a very large number in that spot, but for now I'm just leaving it at 0. And then we've got our cars just based on the Blue Book value. They're worth $13,000 and that didn't change. So we started out the month with $473,919 and we ended with $477,136. So that was an increase in assets of $3,217. Now to the liabilities. Okay. First, our mortgage. Our mortgage started out the month at $308,997 and we just paid our regular payment, and so it went down to $308,494, and that means $503 of our payment went towards principal. Next, we've got our home equity line, and that was at $22,366 and we paid just about the minimum payment on that, a little bit more, and that went down to $22,299, which was a change of $67. Next, we've got my student loans. I went to law school. I know it's a crazy amount to pay for school, but they are what they are. My student loans are at $203,650. In the month of December, they went down to $202,129, which means we paid off $1,521 of my student loans. Next, we've got my husband's graduate school loan, which had a balance of $103,350. We paid it down to $102,681, which was a change of $669 for the month. And then my husband's undergraduate student loan was at $5,784. We paid that down to $2,586, which was a change of $3,198. That's the loan that we're focusing on getting paid off. And actually, now that we're over 1 week into January, that has been paid off, which is super exciting. And I'll tell you guys all about that in our monthly debt payoff update. But yeah, super excited that that has been paid off and is now 0. So it will not be on the net worth update next month. That line will be deleted out, and yep, that'll be exciting. Now, at the beginning of the video, I said that we have over $300,000 of debt, and you can see here that we start out the month with $664,174 and paid that down to $638,189. But this is including our mortgage and our home equity line, and if we sold our house, you can see that our house is worth more than our mortgage and home equity line, so those debts would go away. So for our debt total, I really only count the student loan debt at this point, because that's the only debt that doesn't have asset that offsets it. Although arguably we are the asset, and that's not shown on this net worth spreadsheet, the value of our education, but it's hard to put a number on that because who knows how much those degrees are going to make us over our lifetime. Okay, so our liabilities went down by $5,958 in the month of December, which is awesome. So you can see here that we started out the month of December with a negative $170,228 net worth, and that went up to negative $161,053, which is where we are now, and that was a change of $9,175, which is very, very good, and I'm super excited about. Not only is it moving in the right direction, but that's like a huge change for it to go up by $9,000 in the month. However, if you remember that we are trying to get our net worth to go positive in the year 2021, that means that our net worth needs to increase by $13,421 per month for the entire year to end up with a 0 net worth at the end of December 2021. So what we did in December 2020 was great, but it's definitely short of what we need to be doing going forward if we're gonna hit that goal. Okay, and you can see here I've got this graph so we can track our net worth by month, and right here you can see this bar is going down into the negatives for November and is a little bit less negative for December. So hopefully the trend of the bars will go like this until we cross this line of 0, and then it'll be going into the positive net worth numbers. Now, whether we're gonna be able to reach our goal of a positive net worth in 2021 is somewhat in our hands and somewhat out of our hands. What's in our hands is working really hard on staying focused and putting as much money as we can to our debt payoff and investments and everything, but there is a big piece of it that's going to be dependent on the market, because a big part of our plan for this year is to put a lot more money in retirement. And so if those investments do well and the stock market is going up like it has been, then it shouldn't be that difficult to meet that goal because of the growth from the stock market. However, if the stock market has a bad year, then it's going to be very challenging to hit our goal unless we have some crazy change in income, which is possible. But other than having a big increase in income, we definitely need the stock market to do well, and we need the housing market to keep going up in order to be able to meet that goal of a positive net worth. Now, the stock market does go up long term, and I know that, so I don't really care what it does this year. We are gonna stick to our plan and keep investing and do everything I talked about in our 2021 goals video, but we'll just have to see what happens. I have been talking about our money and our finances and our debt on YouTube for over 6 months now, and so it's gotten easier over time, but it's still really hard to talk about having a negative net worth and to put it out there for the internet and for everyone to see. Part of the reason I do it is because I want to be accountable to what our plan is, and I know if I tell you guys we're doing something, then it makes me stick to it, and so I'm really glad to be sharing. I also know a lot of you guys are working on your net worth and your debt payoff, and so I love connecting with you and hearing everybody else's stories and motivating each other. But this was really hard to film and put out there, so if you wouldn't mind, please be kind in the comments. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. It really helps out my channel, and if you want to follow along and see our net worth progress over the course of this year, then make sure you hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you as a subscriber, and I'll see you guys soon in my next video. Bye.